Hello, SolarLune here. How's it going? Hi. So, welcome to my stream. I'm SolarLune. I'm an independent game developer and musician and stuff like that. And I'm the creator of MasterPlan. MasterPlan is, let me change the theme here. Hold on. There we go. MasterPlan is a graphical idea board and project planning software that I made specifically for game development. And yes, welcome. This is what I've been working on, and this is what I will be working on this stream. So hello to everyone in chat, and everyone is saying I'm late. Yeah, I'm 5 minutes late. I usually start the stream at whatever time and then let it run for a few minutes just to kind of like give people a chance to join. Maybe that's unnecessary. Anyway, that's how I've always done it. Anyway, this is the software. We're just gonna go through a quick rundown of what we have so far. We have a map task, which is working, or little cards you can create. You can edit them freely. You can resize them. You can reposition them. And this is all done with SDL2, and this is written in Golang. Yeah. Huh. This specific label looks weird. Anyway, you can check off little checkbox cards. So you can have things like to-do lists, and this will be stronger once we implement the next feature, which is going to be basically like numbering as well as the ability to quickly move cards around and stuff like that. We have images which work well. We have sounds you can load from your hard drive. We have timers, which is cool. I need to make a countdown timer rather than a stopwatch. So I guess we'll maybe do that as well. This should be bigger for everyone to see. Okay. So this is the kind of things that we'll try to work on today. Maybe not this one, but these top 3 things would be good to implement. And then we have maps, which are cool because that allows you to do things like draw maps for Metroid likes or stuff like wait, what am I? There we go. Metroid likes or stuff for games, maybe RPGs or games that are kind of big. It allows you to plan out your game, so that's really cool. And of course you can just drag things around. So if you have for example, a map of a zone, then you can drag it around easily to kind of conceptualize where things will be. So you can just be like, oh, maybe it should be here. No, maybe it should be over here. That kind of stuff. Really easy, really simple. Works really well. Maybe there should be a border around the map, now that I think about it, because it's kind of hard to see where the one map ends and the other map begins. So I'll add that to the list. Map should be on the border. Okay, cool. Lucretia says, you guys looking so good. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. It's taken a while to get to this stage, but I think it's worth it. I think it's very smooth. It's very much so a better, cleaner, just more smooth and easy to use version of the software. I think it's solid. Okay, so this is what we have. Let me kick up some music here so we can get some tunes going in the background. Is that really loud? Let me see. No, okay. Yeah, we'll go with this. All right, so this is what we have so far. It's working really well. With the last thing we implemented was the ability to rotate maps, which is good. So if you need to do so, you can do so. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty solid. That's what we got. Works really well, really smooth. Lucretius says, I really like that small selection animation too. Nice touch, real slick. Yeah, I like that too. It's very very just cool. It kind of just like, yeah, it just looks nice. Small little tweens do a lot to make things smoother. All right, so yeah, let me actually. Here we go. All right, so at some point we're gonna have to implement project settings. That's really more of, I guess, a long-term thing though. Something I was thinking about is a calendar card that allows you to kind of say maybe things are for a specific card, for a specific day rather than having deadlines directly on cards, because then you have to have like, okay, there's a deadline for checkboxes, there's a deadline for progress bars, there's a progress tasks. There's a deadline for tables. Rather than having individual deadlines, it seems like it might be better to have some sort of overarching deadline box or something you can put your cards in, and then you can just modify the box. That just feels a little easier rather than having to have like a deadline control. Deadline control on all this stuff that is implementable or implemented. Lucretius asks, is the UI completely from scratch and go, or do you use a UI framework that comes with a loop and everything? It's completely from scratch. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it does work okay. But yeah, this basically menus are made from scratch. Buttons are just like, basically the way this works is a card has a container that's defined as the size of the card, and elements go in the container, like the, in this case, the name of the timer, the timestamp, and then this little pie graphic just for visualizing time, and these two little buttons. A menu has the same container that things can go in. I'm trying to see if I can have a. Yeah. So yeah, a menu has the same container that things go in, and then buttons get basically put in, just centered. As you can see, it's not perfect. It's not perfect for every situation, but it's okay for now, and I plan to keep improving it as necessary. And the upside is just it's not that complicated. It's just basically menus, containers, and then buttons and text. That's kind of the only elements, except for this pie icon, this bar icon, or this bar, like a scroll bar, which is also the same as this scroll bar slash this scroll bar. It's the same system, same underlying system. But yeah, it's from scratch. Made from scratch. So it's going pretty good. Yeah, I need a countdown timer, so that's going to be the next thing. Might be good if the timer ran down and then it maybe flashed in addition to playing the sound. That way you don't have to have your sound on to see that the timer went off. There's a little message that used to pop up on the previous versions of MasterPlan. I had a message system, so it would show like, oh, here's a message, like you created a task, or you edited a task, or whatever, copied a task. But I haven't re-implemented that yet. because it's a little visually clutterful. It clutters up the visuals of the application, but you can turn it off, and it is useful in some circumstances. So I'll probably re-implement it. But yeah, I still have to figure out how to do deadlines and stuff. In this new context of basically trying to kind of keep everything in this, on one board and not have a lot of like extra menus to edit things. I'd like to ideally just have it like directly visible here, but maybe I could spare a button like I do for the map. Maybe I could spare a button here, for example, for setting the deadline, and then you can just have a little calendar and you can click on it to indicate when the deadline is. That's okay, I guess. Fez says, any chance for connections between cards? Yeah, that's something that I wrote down here. Here we go. Yeah, cards can be linked to show relationships by holding a key, Alt, for example, and clicking between cards. These are explicit links. Implicit links are still created by means of neighboring, as in the previous version of MasterPlan. They should be bendable in a customizable way. Arrows or dots or something could maybe stream from card to card through these lines, thereby showing flow. So that's an idea. But yeah, there should still be a means to connect cards. Like, hold Alt and then click, or hold Shift or Control. Maybe Control, because Shift selects multiple and Alt deselects cards. So maybe Control could be used to basically create a link between cards. And if the cards are completable, like checkbox cards or progression to cards, then if they're completable, then basically the completion of one card would depend on another. But I think before we do that, we probably should implement neighboring like we had in the previous version of MasterPlan. That's really one of the key features that worked really well that I think we kind of need to have here. So we'll work on that today. Shouldn't be too hard. The thing I'm kind of thinking about right now, though, is well, actually, before we even implement it, there's a couple of things to think about. The previous way that I implemented this kind of movement system or cards existing in a stack and getting organized like that, I believe I used a map. Let me actually take a look at my previous code here. Hold on. Vulnerabilities, yeah, I have to fix this. Yeah, so the previous, let me see if I can find it here. Is it on board? This is the original, yeah. It might be in board. Okay, so yeah, task locations basically is the underlying map that controls basically where a task is. So in the space, because you can extend out in infinite, movement, and you can move in infinite directions, and you can move an infinite amount in left, right, up and down directions. I basically implemented the locations of the tasks as being a map of positions to an array of a slice of tasks. I'm wondering if it would be it would be more performant to do this using just a 2D slice, but that would require me rearranging the slice whenever a task gets moved or added or removed, and I'm not sure if I really want to do that. I gotta think about it. Geek Hunger says, you probably answered this, but why are you doing this as an app as opposed to a web app? It's kind of a trade-off. If I did it as a web app, it would be, kind of a little more portable / be able to move, be displayed easily on the web. But the downside is a web app tends to be really heavy. It tends to just be heavier than a native app, and it also tends to be it tends to weigh more. It tends to be a larger executable because you have to distribute like an entire Electron or whatever, you know, browser to run your app. Whereas if I build this, if it builds, it does build. It doesn't take very long at all, and it's probably going to be like what, maybe, yeah, it's 9 megabytes. So I mean, like, that's kind of the upside. It's more performant, it's very lightweight, it's tiny, and it takes up like no memory in comparison. It takes 31 megabytes of memory. I mean, like, you know, so yeah, it would be better to do a web app if you were talking about like making something cross-platform. You know, if you wanted to kind of make something run, maybe it would be better as a web app if it was a simple application. But because this can hold a lot of, like, you know, data, and it's going to be a lot of text rendering, and it's going to be a lot of processing and stuff like that, it's better to, and you want it to run in your background. You don't want it to be like a main app. So it just seems like it would be better to make it a native application. So it's kind of a trade-off, I guess, in answer to your question. If it was web, it would be better for some things, but if it's desktop, you know, desktop application, it's not internet dependent. It's not like Lucretia said. It doesn't require an account or anything like that. You just download it and run it. This is kind of a lost art, and I do see the benefit of having, you know, web apps, but I think that you know, not everything needs to be a web app. Everything can be, like, it's good to have native applications still. It's a good thing to run an application directly on your computer. All right, so yeah, so let me go ahead and commit actually the changes we made last time. I still haven't done that. Let me do that. All right, let's see. Let me move my mouse, my microphone a little bit. Yeah, performance is definitely a huge trade-off. Yeah, I think that it's, you know, there's a reason for making web apps, but I feel like the default for a lot of people is to make a web app, and it's like, okay, you can do that. You know, you can make a web app, but you don't have to make everything web apps. You can make graphical applications using, you know, compiled languages as well. You don't have to make a JavaScript engine, or, you know, you make a application using JavaScript being interpreted by a web engine. It's unnecessarily obtuse if you don't take advantage of it. If you're not displaying it in a web application, if the primary target, oh, that's right. If the primary target of your web app is not people who use the internet, but just ordinary users, you know, like Photoshop, you know, I don't know if Photoshop is only through the web now. I haven't kept up on that. I know that they sell it through a subscription. There's no longer an application you can just like purchase and download, or purchase and have, but rather like you have to have a subscription. I'm not sure if it's through the web. Hopefully it's not through the web, because I mean, it's, you know, I just nuked my text. Yeah, hopefully it's not directly through the web. Indigo says howdy. Hello. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Let's see. Okay, so what did I say? Adding cursors. Uh, adding shortcut for lines, for maps. Fix changing. Let's see. Indie Ghost says, I hope all is well. I actually subbed because your Sunbox tutorial ages and ages ago. Nice to see that you're still around making cool stuff. Thanks. Yeah, it's been like a decade. It's been like close to a decade since I've started my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for staying subscribed all that time. Also, eBoat Right, hello. I almost missed your comment there. Yeah, but yes, it's been a long time, and I hope to keep making cool stuff. Access menu open. Okay. Adding cursors, changing content for map. Sage says, yo, enjoying Destiny 2. Did your brother convince you to play? That's right, I picked up Destiny 2 again. Well, actually, my brother, for everyone who's watching, my brother likes to play this Destiny 2, and which is a space shooter kind of game, if you're unfamiliar with it, on PS4 and 5 and Xbox One and Series X, S, and PC. And so because it has crossplay now, basically it has crossplay, so now I'm like, okay, I'll play because you know, I can play with my brother and my friends and stuff. So I'm like, it's such a long game. Maybe that's a topic for discussion, because Destiny 2, I kind of, you know, you started the game and you are starting fresh. You know, I didn't play very much of it before kind of sitting down more seriously with it, and you don't have access to a lot of, you know, features of the game. You don't have access to like the strikes or like the crucible or gambits or anything like that. You don't have access to a lot of the game, and as you play, it opens up. But from what I'm reading, to get to Crucible, which is like the PvP competitive, you know, game mode, or just you know, competitive PvP, you need to play through like 3 missions, and like the first mission takes like 5 hours, dude. It's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take so long to get to the point where you can play, where I can play versus other people with my friends. So I know Gambit is kind of like that, but it's a little bit of a different game mode. So it's just kind of interesting. There's a discussion I think to be had about kind of like a game slowly opening up to you. I feel like AAA games or big games do that sometimes, compared to indie games where pretty much it's like what you see is what you get. Even for big indie games like Hollow Knight or Hyper Light Drifter, the game kind of is static in its size. You don't really have a lot of games where it's like, oh yeah, after a lot of indie games where it's like, oh yeah, after playing 5 or 6 hours, now we're going to introduce a new game mode, or now we're going to introduce entirely new mechanics. usually is pretty straightforward. Even No Man's Sky, which is pretty big, is also pretty straightforward. Once you play it for 30 minutes, you kind of see the entirety of the game loop. And so Destiny 2 is kind of different because it's like you play for a long time and then it's like, okay, in my opinion, yeah, a relatively long time, and then it's like, okay, here's online play. It's like, but I'm like 6 hours in. It's like, it's just now giving you online. It's just now giving you like shops. Like you've been picking up experience points and it doesn't count to your like your levels until like 4 hours in. Then it's like, okay, now you're level 5. It's like, well, I was level 1 yet, 5 minutes ago, but now that I've unlocked the ability to level up, now I'm level 5. It's weird. I feel like there's a discussion to be had, and I feel like there's a reason to have this kind of, the world opens up, the game opens up over time design. But I also kind of feel like the downside of that is that you can easily put your players into a situation where they kind of play an hour or two and then drop it because they feel like the game isn't growing, when really it grows. It just grows over 10 or 15 hours as opposed to growing over 10 or 15 minutes. And I think that that's unfortunate, but that's also kind of the fault of the designers maybe putting things behind walls for story-based reasons, where it's like, oh yeah, in Destiny 2, it's like, oh yeah, you kind of get in touch with like this big city, so it doesn't make sense that you would have access to a shop before then because you don't know anybody. So now that you're in the city, you meet the people who can buy and sell things. Now you're able to use your currency. And so before that, it doesn't make sense that you would be able to, but for hours before that point, you're just collecting currency and not knowing what to do with it. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's kind of like a, some people will like that, but not everyone will. And I think that that's something that could be examined. Like, is that, what's a good way to go around it? I think a good way to go around it might be to, let me commit this, might be to let the player know, like, hey, you're picking up currency, you can't use it now, but you will in the future. Although, if you do that with everything, then it kind of takes away from the mystique of the game, the mystery of the game. Because the player knows about everything, even if it's a mystery. It's like, you don't know if you're going to see other humans, but you have this currency, you're going to be able to buy and sell stuff, so you will. It's like, okay, well, that takes the surprise out of, it's a village, or it's a city. Like, you don't get that. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Sage says, yeah, it's the only thing that levels up is your season pass. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you get experience points for completing quests, but I didn't see what the experience points were going for. Like, you complete a quest and it's like, it'll give you 4,000 XP, and it's like, okay. It's just like like you complete a quest and it's like, you got 3,000 XP. You complete another quest, you got 5,000 XP. You're like, great. Like, you don't know what that means, because for the first like 5 or 6 hours you don't have a season pass. You don't have that entire like part of the game, that entire part of the GUI is locked out. You don't see it as far as I remember, and so you don't know what experience points do. It's like you complete quests and you get points, but what do they do? You don't know. And it's kind of it's I wouldn't say poorly designed. I'll say poorly designed. It's poorly designed. I mean, it's just like, I don't know if they should put that before you get to that point, like before 5 hours in, because when you put a reward for a quest, the reward should be known to the player. It shouldn't be where it's like, oh well, you don't know what it is or what it'll do, unless that's the entire point, where it's like, okay, we're giving you this item. It's critical to the story and you don't know what it does. That's the point. But it's different when it's like, oh yeah, it does this thing that you don't know. It's like, well, if you're telling me it does this, but you're not telling me how it helps me or what it does, why are you offering it to me as a reward? It's interesting. It's interesting. Indigo says, are you an indie horror game fan? Just curious. Not really. I don't really play too many indie horror games. Rashad Z, what's up? How's it going? Hello. But yes, thank you, Sage. I would appreciate the assistance, especially with Gambit. that's given me a little. I lost my first game, but that's it was fun. It's still a fun game mode. And maybe poorly designed is too strong, but I do think that it's an interesting problem that maybe has a variety of solutions with a variety of advantages and disadvantages, I guess is the best way to kind of think about it. All right, so maps should be lower depth. Let's see if we can implement that. So we have maps. If you put something on top of it and you click on the map, it shouldn't really pull the map forward. Or it can pull the map forward. Well, how do we want to do this? Because I mean, sometimes you might want to put something like an image. Let's say you load an image of like a. Wait a second. Can I? I cannot. Let me see if I can implement drag and drop images real quick. Hold on. That would be under probably boards. Sage says experience goes to the past and your season artifact, which gives +1 to your level. I never touched Gambit. It's the meme of this game. My sister's playing as well. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. I understand the idea. I'm pretty sure I get the idea of experience points. What they do is just when you're getting the experience points at the beginning of the game, it doesn't show you that your season pass. You can't see it until you get to like the vault area. I can't remember the tower, the main city. So before that, you don't know what your experience points do. You just get points, and you never see yourself leveling up. You never see any of that information. Once you get through to the vault, then you see like the bar at the bottom of the screen that like grows, and then when it gets full, it's like, oh, you leveled up. You're level 5. You see that, but before you get to that point where you're in touch with the guardians, the other guardians on the city, you don't see that. So you're getting rewards like for bounties and stuff, and you're getting, you're turning in bounties and getting experience points, and you don't know what they do. They don't do anything. That's what I'm talking about specifically. It's like that's a weird game design. That's a weird point of game design. Yeah. But anyway, let's see if we can get this working. So let me take a look here at the SDL help page, or SDL API for drag items, drag files. It's a drop event. Okay. So it has the type, it has the timestamp, it has the file name, it has the window ID. Okay. So let's see if we can implement that. That would be under an event, or that would be an event rather. Case SDL drop event. Okay. Drop event. Sage says I haven't touched New Light. I can see how confusing it is. Oh yeah, I only picked up Destiny 2 in the free-to-play stage, so my experience with it is coming to it both fresh as well as recently, as well as someone who hasn't bought the game. If I bought the game when it was new, or just bought the game before it went to free-to-play, I feel like it would have probably been maybe more simply designed. But this possibly is also a product of having a game that is paid and then transitioning it to a free-to-play system where it's not made for that from the jump, right? So how you play the game, or where the game starts, or how the game opens up to you now might be drastically different compared to how it was at Destiny 2 1.0, before they had season passes, before they had all the stuff that they have. So it's interesting. The viewpoint of a veteran compared to a newcomer, the viewpoint of someone who's played the free-to-play version compared to someone who's bought it fresh, they're going to be wildly different, and even the design of the game is going to be different. That's also a topic for discussion. Is like, is the game different? It's kind of like a ship of Theseus ship of Theseus problem, I suppose. Like, is the game I keep getting distracted. Is the game let's see if we can get this to work. Hold on. Alright, so we got drop of it. Wait. Hold on. Type. Timestamp. File. Okay, there's no file name on these two. I wonder why it generated 3 events. File name which should be freed with SCL free is null on begin complete. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So it's well, what is begin? Oh, I see. The event type. Drop file, drop text, drop begin, or drop complete. Okay. All right. So the type. So 4098 is, I guess, drop begin. 4096 must be drop file. 4099 must be drop complete. Okay. So let's print out drop dot type dot and then drop dot type is equal to SCL drop. You know what? Let's just do it like this. Okay, so it looks like we can read it. Yeah. All right, so we'll just go like this. We'll just use this actually. So drop begin is 4098. 4096 is drop file. Yeah, and then drop complete is 4099. All right, we're good. So I can only read the text in drop text or drop file. I can't read it incomplete. So we're gonna have to use basically this. And actually, let me take a look to see what happens if we drop multiple files. Okay, so it drop begin, and then you get 1 for each file, and then drop complete. I see. All right, so then for each event, which is, this is naturally going to do this way. For each drop event, we really just want the drop file. Yeah, okay. Drop file. All right, so we're just gonna do this a little bit of an easy way, I guess. How will we do this? I guess we could do this a couple ways. We will create a card for each drop event. But then we also need to see if it's an image first. Let me look up my resources file. Let's see. For us to tell if it's an image or not, we have to parse it. So we detect the file. So we could do this, I guess. We can do this to detect the file path, see if it's a image, and if so, we can just go ahead and pass it to resource. Okay, let's try that. We will go, we don't need common, we don't need key bindings, we don't need GUI menu. We don't need any of this. Actually, let's leave to-do list open. All right. Resource. Okay, then we say if mime type dot or strings dot contains mime type image. But yeah, I was just gonna say basically as time passes, the game design changes in games marketed as games as a service games. I said games like 4 times in that sentence. And it's still not over. The sentence isn't over. But basically, as games go on, in games specifically marketed as a service, the game design changes. And so the game that you play 5 years after release isn't the game that you played at release or someone else played at release. And that's an interesting concept. You know, that kind of brings up like there should be more examination of game design, of ongoing designs of video games, because the games change. You know, what you play later is not what you play at the beginning, and so what you design at the beginning should not be what you design at the end. If you're going to make games as a service. It's one thing to make a game that simply gets an update or a DLC, and it's another to make a game that has multiple seasons that implement additional modes or additional systems on top of an existing game. Because now you kind of have to rethink and redesign it. And it also is a issue of, you know, players missing out on content because they don't have specific DLC, or players, you know, maybe a game not being made for a specific set of designs, or a specific set of systems that gets added on top of a design. It's interesting. It's an interesting examination. I feel like that's something to check out. Fabio says, amazing, all in Golang. That's correct. That's correct indeed. Thank you. I've been hacking away at it. Fedor, hello. Long time no see indeed. Good to be here. Good to be seen. They got rid of half the game so they can update the coding. As a new player playing versus a veteran, there are two different stories. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I thought so. It felt like there was things I was missing, or things that was kind of different compared to what I was reading online for Destiny 2. And there's another topic for discussion is, you know, the longer you make something go on, the harder it is to get kind of up-to-date and accurate knowledge on it. There's something I look up and I can't ever find like accurate information. I don't remember what it is. It's a coding language or it's a engine. I don't remember what it is, but it's like, you look, maybe everyone just has this experience, but you look up like, you know, anything that's kind of long running and that gets updated a lot, like maybe a video game, or maybe a TV show, let's say. Like you're looking up, you know, some information on the Twilight Zone, you know, and you think like, okay, I'm looking up like, you know, information on the story of one of the episodes of the 1980 whatever Twilight Zone, and then you get an article for a 2010 episode. As an example, I don't know if they have an updated Twilight Zone. It feels like they have. I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch the Twilight Zone, but I'm just using that as an example because there has been a large jump between the older original version episodes, as well as, you know, a new reboot and update. I feel like they've updated it, and so you're like, wait, I don't remember this episode in the original series. It's because it's from the new series. So what I'm getting at is basically, that's a issue for players, is when they look up information for your game and all the information they find is from version 1.0, and you're, you know, iterating on this game to the point where it no longer applies. I mean, you know, that's you see that all the time with, you know, tier lists for fighting games, or you know, Super Smash Brothers or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, this character's top tier, and then it's like, yeah, they got nerfed. Now that information is no longer correct. As an example, I like old school. You buy a game and it works. Live my life mostly without internet, so games as a service means no games in that scenario. Says hopeless decoy. Yeah, that's a good example. I'm trying to think about how I want to approach this actually. Maybe what we should do, instead of doing this directly here, is that we pass this event to the project for it to do. That probably would be good. Let's do that. We'll say globals project page. Handle drop files. That would probably be better designed. Yeah, it's better. Okay. So then we say if strings.contains MIME type image, then we want to create a new card. I guess we want to create a new card regardless. So we'll say page dot create new card. You know what? No, let's do it this way, because we have to specify what kind of card it is, and then we say the card type is going to be card type content type image. No wait, card dot properties dot get set. All right, that should kind of work. Let's give that a shot. See what happens. Okay, so yeah, this path is incorrect. Let's see. It might be that the property name is incorrect. Let's check that out. Contents. No, it's file path. I guess we need to call load file. Yeah, I think we have to call it load file. Okay. Or maybe we can do this another way. Let's see. It'd be great if I didn't have to create the card with a content type by default, but I think I do. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create the card. It's going to be just a checkbox by default. We're going to set the path here. We're going to call card.setContents. That actually might work, because when we set the contents to image, is going to go ahead and I think this will work. Let's see. Yeah, okay, it works. Cool. Let me see if I have another image to work with, because I'm wondering, is it... Oh, this is the shadow. This is the shadow behind the card. I forgot about that. I was wondering why it's like black on the back. Yeah, let me see if I have another sprite I can use here. Where's... Yeah, it's black on the back. Okay, so we probably don't want the shadow to appear if the image is transparent. That seems wise. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we can do about that. We will go to card shadow. Yeah, okay. So we only want to draw the shadow if it's not transparent. How do we know whether it's transparent? Sage says, originally the plan was that every year we'd get a new game, so we should be getting Destiny 3. They scrapped that idea and they are doing expansions now. Each expansion has 4 seasons that tell the story as a whole. Okay, yeah, it does kind of feel like the game's big. It feels very large, and it feels a lot bigger than maybe well, it's interesting. The thing about sequels, i.e. Destiny 1, 2, and 3, or Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? No, 10, I think. Mega Man X 1 through 8, as an example. The thing about sequels is that they act well. They act very well for self-containment. So when you have a game, you know, and it adds something to the formula, it's only in that one game. When you have a game that stretches on over years and gets expansions and extensions and additional mechanics and systems and currencies, it can be overwhelming to new players. And I feel like that Destiny a little bit has that. It's not like you have 3 or 4 or 5 different currencies. I don't think, but I don't think it's as simple as it could have been if I was just playing vanilla D2. If I was just playing vanilla Destiny 2, I do think it's a little bit bigger. Music Boy J Boy says there actually is a Mega Man 11. I thought maybe, but I haven't picked it up yet. I haven't picked up Mega Man 11. I know it's like 3 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old. 2019, yeah, maybe 2 to 3 years old. So I know I'm late, but I still haven't picked it up yet. I need to grab it. 2018 or 17. I feel like it was maybe it was 2017. So yeah, I know it's a couple years old. I have to grab it, but haven't picked it up yet. So yeah, there's a discussion to be had about all of these game design concepts. Okay, so the issue here is that we're drawing the shadow beneath the image, which I don't think we need to do if the image is transparent. So we need to control basically whether the shadow draws. We will just do this with a variable because I can't think of a better way to do it. We'll say if card.shadow visible, and then we will, I don't actually have to do that. We will go to here and say shadow visible. It will be a bool, and we will have it default to true. You know what? All right, let's do it this way. We'll have it be where we will read the color of the contents. I don't think we'll ever have a, well, it could happen. All right. So we'll see, we'll do it this way. We'll say if the color is greater than the alpha component of the color is greater than 0, then we will draw the shadow. That way we can go to image contents and say that the color, yeah, there we go. So it's just transparent. So we'll do it that way. That's the better way. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Think about doing it that way. So when we go over here, we say, okay, we're drawing this, or we drag the image over. Okay. Oh, that is a perfect fit. That's crazy. Very nice. Yeah, so that works. So we don't have the shadow behind the images now. But if we double click, now we do have the shadow, but otherwise we don't. Cool. Sage says he has to start work. Call tonight if free. One shot all the bosses for me. Thank you. I appreciate your assistance. It's pretty fun, but it is kind of a grind. Also, sorry for the noise outside. All right. Okay, yeah, you can't hear this. Okay, hold on. This dog outside is going crazy. Hold on. Okay, we're back. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to discuss game development concepts, or game design concepts, especially with I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, that's very funny. But yeah, it's fun to watch game design concepts or think about game design concepts from the concept of point of view of game developers, seeing why something is designed a certain way or how it could have been designed better, or why it was designed a certain way and why that was the best they could do, because you know not every problem is solvable in a perfect way, right? Very few problems are solvable perfectly. A lot of the things we play and enjoy are just good enough, or are systems to just allow play a certain way. All right, so yeah, this is good. All right, so we can drop stuff, and it gets loaded, nice and easy. Not sure why that's loaded so much bigger than the other one. Oh, I see. Because this is this basically takes up half the screen of width. This also does. It's just square. That's why. Okay. Destiny is the best example on why. Okay, so this is working. That was decidedly easier than anticipated. Yeah, that's beautiful, fantastic. All right, so now what I implemented that for what reason? What was I doing? Oh, because maps should be lower depth. Yeah, that's right. So basically, if we have a map and we are, let's say, dropping an image onto the map for, you know, an icon or something like that, when we click, we don't want the icon to disappear when we click on the map. If we're drawing, then the map depth can be higher, but otherwise we probably want the map to be like you probably want like something like that, right? But if we click, now the map disappears. So what we can do is make the map it basically check or set the depth of the card. But that's the thing, their card has no depth. That's the issue. Okay, so the card has no depth because when you click a card, it raises it up. All right, so what I'm thinking is, let's take a look at the way this works here in Page. Raise card, yeah. So when you raise a card, it basically loops through, finds the card in the card stack, and then basically pulls the card to the end, pushes the card to the end. So that the last card in the stack is the card on top, the last drawn. Now what we want to do is probably organize the card stack into depth numbers, so that, for example, all of the number cards that are 0 are drawn and updated, you know, in a certain time frame, and then all the cards that are 1, you know, have a depth of 1, are drawn and updated in a certain time frame, and 2 and 3 and so forth. So that, for example, we can say, okay, we can keep the map on the bottom of the stack by simply setting the why is this so big? Yeah, that's always huge. That's weird. Why is it always huge? Let's... Oh, I guess we're just not setting the size. Alright, let's... No, wait. Yeah, why is it always huge? Image contents. Let's see if we can figure that out. The default size is this. Is that why? Grid size times 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that is not it. Load file. Resource. Load image. Okay, recreate the screen size divided by 2. Oh, this is supposed to be divided by the zoom. Okay, that's where, yeah, okay, that's the issue. All right, it should be divided by the zoom. So zoom is going to be ic.card.page.project camera zoom. All right, that should basically do it. Let's push this out here. All right, that should do it, I believe. Okay. Yeah, it's better. Cool. Maybe we should add a setting that allows you to kind of import images at their original size. That would probably be good. Setting for importing images at their size. That would be good for situations like this where you need an icon that is of a specific size. But anyway, so you have your icon here. You know, it's supposed to be tiny like this. You place it on your map, and then you click on the map, and now the map draws forward. So yeah, what we want to do is basically just say we need a depth. We need to sort the cards by depth when drawing. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so we will do this thusly. We will have depth. You know what? It shouldn't be a function. It should just be a straight up value. Something like that. Depth can be 0 by default. That's fine. When we go to page, when we raise it, that's fine. But when we, let me think. So we raise it. It gets pushed to the end when we click on it, like that. But when we want to sort it. We want to sort the card before. Let me think. Because we also want to sort it to be in front when updating too, right? Yeah, okay. We want to sort stably. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, so something like this. Now we say basically we want to sort by page.cards I dot depth is less than page.cards j dot depth. Let's try that. No, wait, that won't work. No, wait, that will work. All right, we're good. We're good. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. All right. So then next, we just go to contents. We go to map contents, and let's just say, as an example, mc.depth is equal to like 100 or something. So maps are just fundamentally behind. Lou Peabody says, "What it do? Hello. How's it going?" All right, so this, yeah, and welcome to the stream. So this is working. So this is always on top. That's beautiful. It's working. That's bananas. So we actually want it to be like this, so that the map is always behind. Yeah, that works. And then we could just make it so that the map only gets on... That's weird. I don't know what makes it so that I can't click sometimes. Anyway, but yeah, this is exactly what we need to do. It'd be cool if moving the map also moved the things on the map. So we will have to implement some sort of system for that as well. That's the next step. So this is fine. We just want the... Yeah, we just want the depth to be like this under this circumstance. So when your tool is done, it's behind, otherwise it's in front. I guess it could just be like -1 and 1. That's fine. Yeah, and then click. Okay, well that's clearly gonna have to be fixed, but very cool. Let's save this. We will name this map depth test. I think what we want to do also is make it so that the map background is slightly transparent. That way you can look through it, so that when you're editing, you can see what's behind it. That would be good. So that would be the color, I guess. Yeah. Can we get a... Can we say the transparency of it is like 128, let's say? It did not work, I don't believe. Yeah. Let's see. Color. Should be working. Let's see. Oh, it's because this draws on top of the this draws on top of the card. So then we don't want to draw the card, and we want this to be transparent. So let's do this. I guess this is a couple of different things. One is we can return just a... I guess we could actually make a thing for this. Let's say we can make a kind of stand-in color. Transparent. Something like that. Then we go over here and we just say return transparent. Then we go over to draw. And we can draw the destination texture. Or no. MC.texture, texture. Alpha mod. Can we try that? That might work. Let's see. That did not work. I think we might have to. Let's actually do it this way. Recreate texture. Can we blend it? There we go. All right, let's try this. Yo, we got transparency. Okay. So now you go ahead and you say, oh, I want to put a ladder icon here. And then you're like drawing, right? Yeah, and you can see where the ladder is. I don't know why I can't click, dude. All right, so then the ladder's there, and then you draw, and now the ladder's very slightly visible. All right, we're good. This is exactly what we needed to do. We just need it to be not as like transparent as that. Let's kick it over to like maybe 200. Slightly transparent to show things behind the map when it's being edited and is in front. All right, let's go back over here to card, and we say basically we say if color 3 is less than equal to 0, then we don't need to draw. And we're largely Gucci, I think. I don't like how you can see the background through the card. But I mean, there's not really much, like a better way through that, around that. We gotta shoot. That's the entire point, is that you can see the background through the card. See behind the card, rather. Oh, that is beautiful. Where's I don't know if I have any other. I don't think I have any other like one. I guess $1. That's fine. Yeah, I definitely have to fix this, but yo, this is so cool, dude. The Realist Lemon says, "Sup, dude? Hello, welcome." The Realist Lemon, okay. Okay, so this is working really well. I guess what we can do is just make it so that it's transparent only when editing. If you know, you know. I believe I know. I believe I know. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Welcome to the stream, the Realist Lemon. It's an honor to have you here. But yeah, I think we can basically just have this be here in the contents. How goes the development? It's going pretty well, I believe. Excuse me. This is uint 8. All right. All right, and then we say we actually want this to be 255, and we say basically if mc.tool is equal to tool none. Is not equal to tool none. There we go. But yeah, it's going pretty well, I think. Working on more stuff for maps. So basically, when you're drawing out maps, you can now, like, basically Maps are maps are used to basically see like where how your level is designed, or your game world, and so that's what I'm working on. Is basically this little drawing app. These little. I'm trying to describe it. You can draw out your map for a game like an RPG or a Metroid-like or something like that with a big world. That's the point of the map, and I'm working on basically making it so that you can see icons like underneath your map. Okay. All right, so now I'm getting to the point where it's annoying that this is always happening, but I'm also like, I think I've figured out why it's happening, or I'm able to reproduce it reliably. So if I press E then Q, I can't drag the map anymore. If I click, it's fine, but if I press E then Q, it's not. Okay. Trackable. Let's see. Yeah, draggable is true. Let's see. Right, makes sense, yeah. Lottie says, what do you do for work outside of game development, or is all game development? It's mainly this. This is basically where my focus lies for now, although I really do want to... I really do... Oh, Nas2X says, cool, thanks. I really do want to work on... So something else is making it not draggable. Let's see. I really do want to make a game, like, real quick. I want to, like, surprise people on my YouTube channel with a game. And just be like, haha, suckers, it's done already. Rather than having, you know, plans to make a game and all that. I just want it to be done. Draggable. I don't know why this isn't draggable. Like, it should be draggable through its entire life. Bundi says, hello. Hello. Welcome. Welcome indeed to the chat, or to the stream. So I'm thinking I'm hiding... Am I hiding the... No. Somehow I'm not able to drag after clicking. Let's see if I can figure this out. So I press clear add. It's true. Card. Hopeless Decoy says, I'd like to make something big. All of my coding projects have been pretty small. Have issues getting back into a project after long time gaps. Yeah, I feel you on that. I think that there's a lot of the state is not neutral. That's what it is. State isn't neutral. This must be what it is right here. If the card is selected, Well, yeah, if the card is... If the card is selected... Map editing... Or is the state not neutral? Let's see. Zyodic says hello, hello. Okay, project state neutral. Yeah. So the state is still not neutral. Okay. If it's not equal to, okay. Well, yeah. Why didn't I just, okay. Bonk. Bonk. A bonk. All right. There we go. But yes, hello Zyodic. There we go. Now we can drag it. All right, we're good. Cool. So now you can do stuff like that, and now you can push this, over here, and now your little icons can be on your map, and then you're good to go. And now you can draw. Like so. There we go. It's not perfect. I still need to fix that. But you can see the definite idea here. Fantastic. Yeah, let's fix a couple of things. Images shouldn't be horribly malformed. That's kind of problem number one. So like it's all undoing and redoing correctly. It's just a matter of the images just being big directly after pasting. Okay. The realist lemon says not even a little malformed. No malformed. We never get to have any fun around here. We never get to have any fun. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is, man. Oh, I need to take that out. There we go. Okay, size recreated. That's correct. But now if we copy and paste, size recreated. Okay, so that's the issue. Is the size is being recreated after creation of the card. Zyodic says, is there a place to download your music in one go? Nope. It's all across different platforms, unfortunately. There's some music in SoundCloud, on my SoundCloud. There's a few tracks on my Bandcamp. Those tracks plus one might be on Spotify. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have everything everywhere. Like, I don't have everything in one place. It's just, I don't have, I'm sorry. I gotta like get my music around. But it's just, I only have so much time. But I'll see about maybe making it an EP in the coming future. It's the music I've been making over the past couple of weeks has been turning out really well. I'd like to kind of put out there if possible. Okay, so the core issue here is that the image is being, like the size is being reset. Now we don't need to do this if we're basically pasting a card, which is just creating a new card and then deserializing an existing card state into that new card. So let's take a look at the deserialize. We recreate the card properties. Okay, so then we probably want to do this. Otherwise, images reform their size. I'm trying to think, could this cause any problems? So we deserialize the properties, create the contents, and then recreate the card again. Oh, we need to create an undo state after a rotation. I don't believe that should be an issue. Map data.contents.card. Undo state is true. Yeah, I don't believe that should be an issue. Bundi says EP. Oh. Oh. Emoji? Yeah. Alright, so this is working. This was working. It was working, now it's not anymore. How's it not? But yeah, I would like to make an EP. I feel like it would be a lot of fun to do, I guess you could say. Okay, so that works. Then we rotate it. Yeah, I feel like it would be a lot of fun. I feel like it would turn out really well. I just have to put the time in to actually make it. Time is kind of lacking, but I can do it. I can do it. Let's see. Let's rename this. Oops. There we go. Create undo state true. So we're creating an undo state after. Yeah, shouldn't this work? Isiotic says, are the line tasks already in this version of MasterPlan? No, I haven't implemented line tasks because some people wanted basically linking of cards directly. And that's a good idea. So I have to revisit line/linking. I want it to be simpler to link cards directly. Ideally, just by holding control or holding a key and clicking between two cards or something like that, or maybe dragging a node on the end of a card to another one, something to that effect. But I still want people to be able to do things like draw lines or shapes because some people need that for their plans. So I have to revisit that entire concept. I'm not sure how yet to do that, but I think it's basically just what I said. Linking tasks easily or cards more easily / allowing for easy geometry through some method. I gotta think about it. But the answer to your question is no, but they will be / hopefully improved in this version of MasterPlan. Okay, so create undo state. Here we go. So we create, we capture. Okay, so let's go back over here to update and just kind of do this debug again. Okay, so on frame 7 we have 5 1s in the first row. Then on frame 8 we have 0 0 0 0 0, right? 0 and then 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, so this is working correctly. It's just that when we are deserializing it, it's not. It's not working correctly. Let's see. Hold on. I think what I'm going to end up doing, I'm trying to figure this out, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is maybe one thing, maybe clipping the contents to just, that makes sense. Just clip the contents where when we like when we undo or redo, we deserialize, we recreate the texture, we set the contents, we update the texture, and then also if we're undoing and redoing specifically, then we can say clip, and the goal of clip is to basically just remove the rest of the stuff outside of the width and height. I feel like that's fair. I gotta see. I gotta figure out that one. But at its core, that's really what we need to figure out is what to do in this case. Because this is working. But then when we undo it and redo it, it's not being applied. I think it's because... Why is this not working? It's not because of this, is it? Boondy says maybe one idea for lines could be to have the lines dimmer in the background and then have a line editing mode that brings the lines to the foreground so you can edit them. That's an idea. Definitely an idea. I feel like that's not... Yeah, it's definitely not working correctly. Not quite... Like, that's okay. That's okay to have the lines be in the background and then edit them, but I feel like you want to have an easier method of creating lines or creating links between cards than having a separate mode. I want to avoid separate modes, avoid menus. It should be smooth and easy. It should be on the surface simple, but when you get into it a little deep. That's the best approach, is where it's not presenting to you a whole bunch of options all of the time, but the options are there if you know you need them. yeah, I don't want to have the lines be dimmer in the background and then have a mode. That just feels a little unnecessary. Although that might be a solution that I end up doing if maybe that's not so bad, because I need to have some sort of method to allow people to draw lines for segmenting their plans, or to kind of visualize their plans a little bit better. I got to think about it some more. But that's an idea. Maybe I will end up going with something like that. So I can see that the contents is correct, right? Like here we have the top row is all ones except for the ins, right? 0 and then all ones and then 0. So that's this. Then when you redo, it goes to this one, that's all ones here, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I'm not sure. We're recreating it, and then we deserialize the property at the contents, and then we set the contents. Okay, that's all correct. You know what, let me see here. Let me see if this actually solves the problem that we were looking to solve initially. It does not, so that this doesn't actually fix the issue. What about if we do this? Okay, that does solve it. Alright, so that at least is a good solution. Now this is the next problem. Yeah. Beep. So it's deserializing it. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. Because it definitely should be working correctly. All right, so we got 1, 1, 1, 1. All right. All right, so we can see that it's always deserializing basically this state, it looks like. It's not deserializing this state. Or maybe more accurately, it might be that it's just deserializing this single 0. Yeah, it might not be deserializing. Why is it not deserializing? Well, let's do this. Let's print out the data, and then let's also print out something like that. Also, we don't need as a JSON string. Or maybe we do. I'll get back to that. Okay, so I think what we need to do is take a look at map data's deserialize. I guess it might not be correct. Let's see. Whoops. Contents is an array. Zero, zero, 01, 02, 03. Okay, this is all correct, but at the end of it, is it because set I? It must be because of this. Map data, yeah, the height and width might not be set correctly. Let's see, width equals map data dot width equals WNH is have to resize. Resize is called when after recreating the texture. Recreate texture is called here. That's why. Okay, so we have to recreate the texture first, and then deserialize the map data. Okay. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Ziotic says, I love this track playing in the background. Thank you. Appreciate it. There we go. That is incorrect. That's right, but the issue here is... Wait. I understand kind of why this is happening, but yeah, back here the contents are zero, all zeros. So how is this happening? We recreate the texture first, so we're looking at this. Okay. I was wondering why the GUI came up. It's because I'm tapping tab too fast. All right, so let's see. The content size is correct. It's all zeros. But this is incorrect. Is it because the texture sizes? Let's see, what's going on? Deserialize. Content set array. Clipping actually would be a good idea now that I think about it. That should be done. Let's see. The core problem here. These are all zeros. Contents. What? How would the contents be empty? I guess the contents are empty. Okay, so I guess we'll just do it this way. We'll say if length contents dot array is equal to 0, then we will call map data dot clear. Do we not have? I thought we had a clear. We do not have a clear. We do not have a clear. We don't have a clear. We ain't got a clear. Okay, it's news to me. It's news to me. So we will do it this way then. We will just copy resize, call it clear rather, and then we'll just say bonk. Oops. And then we'll just say map data y x equals 0. All right, let's try that. Clip, this might also work for clip. No, it won't work for clip because clip is removing the rest of the, yeah, that won't work. But this should work, I believe. Yeah, okay, we're good. Yeah, okay. The map system is still a little wonky, but hey, it's working. That's the upside. Now, this is the rest of the issue. Is basically everything outside, when you're undoing or redoing, everything outside of the map should be cleared. All right, we're gonna make a function called clip that basically just loops through, we're just gonna do it like this. And we're gonna say if x is greater than or equal to map data dot width, or y is greater than or equal to map data dot height. So this is gonna be clip, and this is what we're gonna use this for. And we're gonna call clip after recreating the texture. Yeah. So I think this should do kind of everything that we needed to do. So we go like this, right? And then we draw this. Then we rotate it. Now everything's good. Now if we make this bigger, yeah, this bar is no longer there because we did, like, if we do this, we're good. If we resize it, we're good. If you resize it, you're good, but if you undo it, now you lost that data. Now this is no longer there because you undid it. There's no vertical bar on the left. You rotate it. There's no horizontal bar on top. We're good. So basically, this is kind of holding on to as much data as we can while not holding on to everything constantly. As you can see, the contents map gets a little big. Oh, we resized it, that's why. But yeah, this is good. This basically does the best of both worlds, where you're not holding on to constantly just a whole bunch of data, but undo and redo kind of work as expected. So if you do something like that, then you undo it, it works back and forth. But if you resize it, the vertical bar isn't there because you basically, it doesn't exist. Yeah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Meme Mistake says, is this a map builder? Yeah, that's exactly what this is. It's a map builder specifically for the planning process, not for use directly in game dev, but just for basically planning things out like this. Yeah, I still need to make the icons move with the map, but yeah, that works really well. Okay. Alright, well, we got a little sidetracked along the way, but we managed to get some stuff done. Managed to get quite a bit done, actually. Drag and drop images is done. Map should be lower depth. That's done. Images being resized is, like, you know, copied and pasted correctly is done. Cool, so we still have to do card movement. We still have to do countdown of timers. We still have to implement project settings at some point. But overall, this is good. This is actually should be a project setting. Yeah, this is solid. I think overall, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling copacetic. I'm feeling every other good word that ends with ick, with icy. Optimistic. Copacetic. We're gonna stop there. Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLune. I'm an independent game developer and musician and stuff. If you want to encourage my antics, please check out my Patreon or MasterPlan. You can grab the current version, not the one I'm working on now, but the previous version from my itch or Steam pages. There's links in the description. And I appreciate it. So far I'm making a lot of progress, and MasterPlan has a long way to go, but it's definitely getting better and better each time I work on it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLune, and I'll have to catch you on the flip side next time. Oh, and my stream schedule. Yes, my streaming schedule is has been pretty solidified. It's now Monday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. And I'll try to also stream on Saturdays at around 5 p.m. If possible. So we'll see if I can stick to that. The Saturday one, I'm a little like, I don't know, because, you know, you want to do stuff on Saturday. So we'll see if I can make that work. It might end up being either earlier or later, I guess, on Saturday or Sunday. I have to see. But it's been fun. And I'll have to catch you guys on the flip side. And next time, maybe I can also add another day. Maybe I can do Thursday as well. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been SolarLune once again for the last time, hopefully. And I'll catch you later. See ya.